Michael Bay, Michael Bay, Michael Bay. I really don't know what to say to you anymore, dude. I really don't. Let's get into this. Transformers The Last Night. So Transformers The Last Night is the fifth film in the Michael Bay directed Transformers movie series. And basically what this one is it takes place shortly after the events of Age of Extinction, the fourth film, and you have Cade Yeager, played by Mark Wahlberg, and a bunch of Autobots. And basically what they have to do is Optimus Prime, he's now turning evil, kind of, and then he gets this planet destroyer thing, and now he says in order to save his kind, he has to destroy Earth, and basically it's up to Cade Yeager and the Autobots to save it, and possibly get Prime back on their side. That's really the best way I can describe the plot of this movie. I mean, it's so convoluted. Oh man, let's get into Transformers The Last Night. I have a lot to say about this one. Well, if I had to pick out any redeeming qualities to this movie, I will say this. Mark Wahlberg does try to give out a decent performance in this movie, I guess, kind of. I mean, for what he's given in this movie, he does try to do the best he can with it. And I mean, there are a couple of action sequences that were alright, I guess, and some of the visuals, I guess, kind of looked nice. And one thing I will give it is there was one joke in this movie that I did laugh at involving Bumblebee's voice box. I guess you can call it that. But yeah, that's it. Now let's really get into this movie. Oh boy. Oh man, where do I begin with this one? Okay, let's get right into it, alright? I knew within the first 5 minutes of this movie that I would be in trouble. Why? Because, like, it takes place back in, like, that King Arthur times, I guess, or something like that, and then someone starts talking, and oh my god, that's when I know I'm in trouble. And it's Stanley Tucci's character, Merlin, I think is his name, and basically what happens is he starts talking, then he takes a big drink of this bottle or something, then he starts talking about this other Transformer. I'm just like, oh my god, this is what we're in for, isn't it? Yeah, that scene alone. Alright, but yeah, let's get into the meat of why I have so many problems with this movie, okay? First off, I want to make something very clear. I do not hate Michael Bay, like a lot of people do. I don't, because I know he can make a good movie if he wants to. Like, look at The Rock, or 13 Hours, or the first Bad Boys, the first Transformers movie. Hell, even The Island, for like the first 2 acts of it. The third act of that movie turns into more of the same Michael Bay bullcrap, but yeah, that's besides the point. The point is, Michael Bay does know how to make a good movie, and he's proven it to us before. The problem I have with him is he lets his ego get to him. He has such a big ego, and he just feels like he has to blow the whole world up, and he just doesn't seem to care at all about these Transformers movies, at least since the second one. Like, it's just been the same old explosion, firework, like, lowbrow humor bullcrap that we've seen in the last 3 Transformers movies. That's what this movie is, and that's what Michael Bay seems to love to do, and it just does not work. Like, take a look at the Fast and Furious franchise. I mean, at least those movies are self-aware of what they're doing. Like, they know they're super over the top, but they don't really take themselves too seriously. They just want to make sure that audiences have fun with them, and it works. The reason why Transformers doesn't work is because there's points where Michael Bay is just trying to get, like, some sort of story going, and he thinks that we need to take everything seriously because there's so much exposition in the movie, and he relies on that too much. And then, of course, the lowbrow humor, like oh my god, that freaking Bumblebee pee joke, and I think it was the second movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the first or second movie. But yeah, oh my god, the humor. The humor has been the worst part of these movies since the first one. And that includes the first one. It's the worst part of these movies. And really, besides that one joke involving Bumblebee's voice box that I mentioned earlier, there's nothing that lands at all. Like, they try to go for all these humorous moments, even at points where we think we're supposed to be taking the movie seriously, they still, like, oh no, Michael Bay, I'm Michael Bay, I just have to add another joke in there and try and be funny, even though it doesn't freaking work. But yeah, that's littered throughout the entire movie. Oh man, just all the Michael Bay humor. This movie has Michael Bay written all over it. It really does. All the Michael Bayisms that are in this movie. I mean, sometimes, like, it's so much Michael Bay that you don't even know if it's actually Michael Bay, if that makes any sense. But yeah, the point I'm trying to get here is I feel like Michael Bay lost control of this movie at some point, and he just stopped caring. He's like, yeah, I'll do whatever the hell I want. Like, even in the previous 3 movies, he at least stops for a little bit. But yeah, but yeah, oh my god. He just gets back to the same old bullcrap that he's been doing with the past 3 movies, and it just, oh my god, it doesn't work at all. It really doesn't. But yeah, speaking of Michael Bayisms, the action sequences. Yeah, those. Now, I love a good action movie. I usually like action sequences, even if they're in a really bad movie. But guess what? In this movie, they're so lame. Why are they so lame? Because you don't care enough to take these action sequences seriously or to even have fun with them. You can't even tell what's going on half the time. And the way the movie's edited, it's the editing is so distracting. Like, for example, the aspect ratio, the freaking aspect ratio. Oh man. Like, there's a few scenes that are shot with an IMAX camera, and then there's a few other scenes in the movie that are just shot with a regular camera, at least it seems like. And the black bars, like, you see those black bars, they are constantly doing this. Like, you have them wide on one shot, and then the next shot they'll be like this, and it'll narrow down, and it does that throughout the movie. I mean, I know some movies, they use the aspect ratio changes to their advantage. Like, during a big action sequence, they'll have like the IMAX screen or whatever. They'll have the IMAX camera, and then like during certain slower scenes, like exposition or other forms of dialogue, they'll go to the widescreen or whatever it's called, the 16:9 aspect ratio, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that it just changes constantly throughout this movie, and it's so distracting. It really is so distracting, and it takes away from the movie as a whole. That's another big problem with this movie. The editing just takes away everything from it. Even some of the CGI is not good. Like, there's one scene in the third act where you can clearly tell there's green screen in the background. You can clearly tell. It's so easy to tell that there's green screen, and the visuals look so blurred. Like, there's so many scenes where everything's just a blur, and you have the camera constantly spinning around. Like, there's this one tracking shot at the end of the third act where Mark Wahlberg and Vivian, the girl that plays Vivian, Laura Haddock or something like that. Vivian. I'm just gonna call her Vivian. Or the British Megan Fox. That's what I should call her, because she looks almost exactly like Megan Fox. Gee, I wonder why. Another Michael Bayism. But yeah, like, they're just levitating in the air, and then there's this spinning tracking shot, and it just looks like the camera's in a blender. It reminded me of Resident Evil: The Final Chapter a little bit, which, oh my god knows how much I hate that movie. But yeah, that scene reminded me a lot of Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. But, oh my god, now we get into the meat of this rant. And that, of course, is the characters. Oh my god. Remember Independence Day Resurgence? The reason why that movie failed miserably is because there were so many characters that were either just annoying or we just didn't give a crap about them at all because there was no backstory or development to any of them. In this movie, it's the same thing. Except guess what? There's more characters. Like, how do you have so many characters that you just don't care about or just tend to annoy the everlasting crap out of you? Like, let's get into some of these characters. I'll start with a few of the humans. Like, I already mentioned Stanley Tucci's character at the beginning of the movie with his drunken mannerisms and, like, just the way he talks and how annoying that is. But yeah, let's get... Alright, Mark Wahlberg. I'll start with Mark Wahlberg. I love Mark Wahlberg. He's a really good actor. He definitely deserves better than these movies. His character is given no depth at all. And he's just there playing Mark Wahlberg. That's what he does in this movie. I mean, yeah, sure, he does try to do what he can with it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't always work. It's just Mark Wahlberg on a set in front of the camera. And you don't care about his character. His character is just basically there because the Autobots need a human character, or like the movie needs a main human character. That's really it. And then there's the British Megan Fox, Vivian, who, like, we're supposed to buy this chemistry between her and Mark Wahlberg? Get out of here. Get out of here. Like, oh my god, there's this one scene on a submarine, and it's like this, it's supposed to be this dinner. Like, it could not get any more awkward. Like, oh my god, we're supposed to buy this romance? Like, oh my god. I bought them feeling awkward more than I bought the romance. Like, they're bickering with each other throughout the movie. But, yeah. And then, oh my god, like, I think it was Vivian's parents, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of other women in her house, and then there's this one scene that takes place, like, up in their dad's room or something. I mean, Vivian and Marky Mark are up there. They're searching for something, and you hear all these noises. It cuts back down to like this big group of older women, and they can hear these noises up there, and they think that something else is going on, something that I'm not going to get into. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Not only is that adolescent Michael Bay humor, but, oh my god, it's another awkward scene in this movie. There's so many of those in this movie, it's not even funny. But, oh man. Oh my god, some of the other human characters. Like, the first 20 or so minutes of this movie is centered around these 4 kids. Like, they're just there for the first 20 minutes. They're trying to escape from these, like, giant walking sentinel things. And then there's this other robot that gets shot with a missile, and then we see it die, and apparently we're supposed to care about that too. Like, come on. And, oh my god, the TRF in this movie are so incompetent and so stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Not to mention the kids. After those first 20 minutes, they don't show up again. Other than this little girl, like the little 14-year-old girl. And she's like, I want to stay and I want to fight them. Guess what? She does jack bullcrap in this movie. She does nothing to add anything to the story at all. Like, she's like, I want to stay and I want to fight them. And even the John Goodman robot with the cigar, he's like, let's go to the front lines, kid. So we're like, okay, yeah, we're supposed to believe that she's going to fight. But guess what? She doesn't do anything. Instead, she has her little sidekick, Squeaks, who's like this freaking BB-8 ripoff character. And he's acting like an imbecile. And then she has him go blow up a tank or something. Yeah, that little robot, that BB-8 ripoff, does more than the little girl in this movie. And yet, she has the audacity to say that she's there, she wants to fight him. Yeah. and we're supposed to like buy into this father-daughter type of relationship with her and Mark Wahlberg. I mean, after the first act, she's not even in the movie again until like the 112-minute mark or something like that. I don't even remember. But yeah. And then another annoying human character. Oh my god, this guy in the third act, he's a part of the TRF, and he's like this, oh, we gotta do math and physics to stop this thing. And he says that like 4 times throughout the movie. He's like, you know how we can solve this? How about physics? We're gonna use physics to end this. Like, dude, stop trying to force this down our throats. Like, you're talking about robots here. You're talking about robots. Come on. Shut up. Just shut up, okay? You're not relevant to the story or to the movie in any way, so shut up. Oh my god. Alright. Now we get into the robots. Oh man. Yeah, talk about Transformers, and yet, like with the last 3 movies, Transformers, they're barely in the movie again. Again, the movie focuses more on the human characters than the robots. Every single time one of these movies comes out, it does that. When will Michael Bay or the writers or whoever produced this bullcrap ever learn? It's like they don't learn from the previous movies. It just shows how much Michael Bay cares about this franchise. It really does. It really does show how much Michael Bay cares about this franchise. Which is, I don't know, not at all. And yeah, like, oh my god, I'll start with the Decepticons. Like, when they introduce the Decepticons, it's this, like, title sequence straight out of Suicide Squad. Like, this whole big introduction for robots like Berserker, Mohawk, and a couple others. And, yeah, they're only in one action scene in the movie. Yeah. And it includes Mohawk. Oh my god, this guy would not shut up. I mean, apparently he's played by the same guy who voiced Mudflap. That's not surprising that he's annoying then. And he says, like, I'm gonna get this mofo this, mofo that. Like, oh my god, you are so annoying. Shut up. I mean, I don't mean to spoil things, but I'm glad he got blown up. I really am. And then, like, the rest of the Decepticons, like, they just... it's just that action scene, and then they're done throughout the rest of the movie. Oh, yeah, one human character I forgot to mention. This T.J. Miller ripoff. Like, the tall kid. I don't remember his name. The tall black kid. I mean, he tries to be the replacement for T.J. Miller, but he doesn't do anything either. He's just there to be another unimportant character in the movie. Like, why are these characters there? We don't care about them at all. My god. And then the Autobots, they're there for like part of the first act. And then again, they don't reappear until the third act. And... oh my god. Oh yeah, and were you excited about Optimus Prime in this movie? Don't be, because guess what? He's in like 3 or 4 scenes in the first 2/3 of this movie. He's maybe in it for like 3 minutes in the first 100 or so minutes of this movie. And then he doesn't show up again until the 109-minute mark. And then, even then, he's barely in that final action sequence. We barely see him. Like, we see him flying a couple times, but that's it. That's it. He's barely in the movie. Completely wasted. What a waste of a character. Seriously. And Megatron, too. He's also barely in the movie. Like, it's like, hi, Megatron. You're in this movie? Oh yeah, we're supposed... And then he appears again later. It's like, oh yeah, Megatron is in this movie. But, yeah. Yeah, that action sequence in that third act, it was only like half the length of the one in Age of Extinction, and yet it felt longer. Yeah. And I mean, this movie's runtime is 15 minutes shorter. Doesn't really feel like that compared to Age of Extinction. It doesn't really feel like it's that much shorter. It's still way too overlong, way too convoluted, overloaded with this Michael Bay humor. And I haven't even gotten to the mid portion of the movie yet. AKA the worst part of the freaking movie. When Anthony Hopkins shows up. It's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You're just wasting yourself in this movie. That's really what he does in this movie. He's wasted in this movie. Not to mention his character is so freaking annoying. And he just spits out exposition for 50 minutes of the movie. And we're supposed to care about this history lesson. And all this other King Arthur bullcrap. And the origin of the Autobots, I don't even know what the hell it is. It's all exposition. That's what it is. The whole second act of this movie is all exposition. And oh my god, don't even get me started on that freaking 4-foot C-3PO ripoff butler, Cogsman. He's the worst character in the movie. He is the worst freaking character in this movie. And I love it how one of the Autobots even when he sees him for the first time, he's like, "Who's the C-3PO ripoff?" Yeah, C-3PO ripoff. This movie tries to rip off Star Wars so many times it's not even funny. Or it tries to steal all the charisma that Star Wars had and all the fun. It's trying to do that, but it clearly doesn't know how to. Because we had to go through all this expositional crap and have 1,000 characters that we don't care about or are just really freaking annoying and that we want to die. Oh man. And this every time that 4-foot robot came on screen, I just wanted to do this. Every time. I just wanted to grab him, shake him, and get him to shut up. Because he would not do that in this movie. He was so annoying. So annoying. It's oh my god. And of course we have the romance between Marky Mark and Vivian, which is so forced it's not even funny. Yeah, more forced and contrived bullcrap from Michael Bay. Man. Also, not to mention Hot Rod is in this movie. I think he wasn't in any of the previous movies from what I remember, but he's in this movie for 3 or 4 scenes. And he has this time freeze thing that's used maybe twice in this movie. Yeah, that's another thing that's completely wasted. But yeah, that's really what there is to this movie. This movie is trash. It just might be worse than Age of Extinction. It just might be. I mean, I've never given a Michael Bay film an F before. Believe it or not, I've never given a Michael Bay film an F before this movie. We'll see what I have to rate it, but oh my god, it's just the same old crap with Michael Bay. It's oh my god, every single movie is the same now, and I know we're supposed to get this Bumblebee spin-off. They don't do anything to set that up in this movie either. Oh yeah, and one more thing before I get into my overall. The Optimus Prime versus Bumblebee fight that's shown in the trailer. Yeah, that only goes on for about 5 minutes. It's just it's the Batman v Superman fight all over again. It's there. It lasts 5 minutes, and the way it ends is just give me a break. Give me a break. This is the same thing that Batman v Superman tried to do. It doesn't freaking work. Oh yeah, and also I have to mention this because I'm from here, or I'm living in Arizona right now. Apparently there was one scene that was shot on Loop 303. That's about an hour or so away from where I live. Talk about disappointing. It lasts 3 minutes and hardly involves any action or anything. It's you see the military, Josh Brumel's character is there, or the TRF, they're there. You see a couple of the Dinobots, not also the baby Dinobots. Yeah, another wasted part of this movie. But yeah, That's really all I have to say. Let's just move on. Guys, Transformers The Last Knight just might be the worst one in the series. I'm not even kidding. This movie is so convoluted, so messy. Like, from that little girl who's like, I want to stand, I want to fight them, and she ends up not doing anything, to that freaking annoying robot butler that I just wanted to grab, shake like crazy, and throw him on the ground and hope he blows up. And to the other annoying Autobots, like the one with the cigar. Yeah, once again, he was pretty annoying. To Marky Mark not being given anything to do. Same with Vivian, aka British Megan Fox. And to this movie just being the same old Michael Bay crap. This movie is awful. It is truly awful. Please don't make the same mistake I did and pay money to see this. Please don't. I mean, at least it's not making as much money in the U.S. as the other Transformers films did, but it's still making money worldwide, so who knows where that will end up. I don't know. I don't really care. I just hope it's not the highest grossing movie of the summer. But, yeah. That's really all I have to say about Transformers The Last Knight. It's the same old crap. That's really what it is. Those 3 words right there. Same old crap. So, yeah, I said earlier that I had never given a Michael Bay film an F, despite some of his worst movies, but this time, I'm not going to be so generous. I'm going to give Transformers The Last Knight a 17% rotten rating. That is a big, fat, freaking F. Now, I'm sure I forgot to mention some things in my review, because that's just because I had a whole lot to say about this movie, where it's just, oh my god. And it's not the worst movie of the year, I can at least give it that. I still think 50 Shades Darker, Resident Evil The Final Chapter, The Bye-Bye Man, Chips, Unforgettable. There's worse movies out there, there really are, but that doesn't change the fact that this is just a really bad Transformers film. And Michael Bay said that this would be his last film. Honestly, I can't believe it until like I see a director's name on Transformers 6 saying a name that's not Michael Bay. He's just hard to trust because he said the same thing about the last movie and the movie before that. So who knows if Michael Bay's telling the truth. I really hope he is, because honestly, I'm done with his Transformers movies. I really am done with him. He can make a good movie. He really can. Like, come on, Michael Bay. You're better than this. It's just the fact that he chooses not to, and he chooses not to care. So, yeah, if you guys have seen Transformers The Last Knight, make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this movie also sets itself up for a sequel. So, yeah, once again, hopefully Michael Bay is not involved with it. And even the title card of this movie is lazy. Even the title card and the credits are lazy. Think about that. Just wait till the title card comes up. You'll see how lazy it is. This movie is just, it's lazy. It's really lazy. So, yeah. Once again, comment below. Let me know what you thought about Transformers The Last Knight. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more reviews to come in the future. Oh, man, I still have 2 big movie rants to do. This is only the first of 3. Yeah. And I'll have a lot to say about those movies as well. But, yeah, until next time, once again, my name is the California Cougar, and always remember to stay California cool. Peace.